Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate some of our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and I'm joined by my fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists, Danny, Anthony, and Zach, to talk about another movie that just came out in the latter part of 2025. As of recording, it's about, second week of November. So we had mentioned maybe during some of our like summer blockbusters and a few podcast episodes from weeks on out that this month is gonna be pretty stacked. And one of the movies that was highly expected to come out was one that I've personally been looking forward to a lot. Um, it's another movie as part of a big on longer like series or like very popular IP, which sometimes started with a great classic from 1987, and ever since then we've had quite a few different versions. Some good, some not so good. Looking at you, AVP Requiem, but going right into it. Ever since Prey came out, we have been treated to some pretty cool, Alien and Predator stuff happening. So, with the next movie in the Predator franchise, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, we are going to be talking about Predator Badlands. This is a movie that, because of the success of Prey and the nice surprise that was Killer of Killers, both directed by the director of this film, Dan Trachtenberg, I have been pretty psyched to see what this was going to turn out. I know there's a lot of purists, especially from the original movies, especially like my personal standout favorites, which are Predator 1, Predator 2, and Predators, that one with Adrian Brody, that because the movie is not rated R, that it was going to be a big miss. It's going to lose what makes the Predator really cool and unique. But I really think that some of the shortcuts or little tricks that Dan Trachtenberg was able to play around with this time around was pretty smart. So all in all, we got a pretty cool, unique story about a kind of young fledgling predator that, through a lot of the dynamics of the culture that we've only like speculated or true nerds have gone into and looked at the comics, we find out that this predator named Deck is going to go on a pretty lofty quest to go and try to find the ultimate like prey, hunt it, and bring it back to his clan so that he is worthy of getting his cool like camouflage invisibility cloak and become a predator and become a full member of his clan. There may be light spoilers. I'm personally going to do my best not to spoil too much because the movie's pretty awesome. But my fellow popcorn watchlist panelists may have to, provide some details. So be warned, there will be some spoilers. Um, in this point here, I'm gonna pass it off over to Danny, to give a little surprise as to how this movie has fared so far. Danny, hit us with that box office numbers. How many popcorn buckets we talking?
Funny you say that because they actually sold like a Predator mask popcorn bucket, at least at the AMC, which to be honest, looked pretty cool.
I mean,
Uh
almost all Predator stuff looks cool anyway. Like that's just kind of how it is.
they need
But
to go in more on the merch here.
yeah, I have a feeling, it's 20th Century Studios now owned by Disney. They're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna
merch is gonna get pumped out. This gotta be.
yeah.
So hit us, yeah, like box office. How is it doing so far?
Yeah, so the budget is or was 105 million, which actually is not too bad. It looked great for that budget. And right now, as of today, the worldwide box office is 88 million. So it's just about to break even, which good for the movie. Uh, now I'm just hoping that it actually does make money because, spoiler alert, I think most of us really enjoyed it. But this is the highest opening for a Predator movie in the franchise. So
That was honestly surprising to hear that
Yeah.
out of like I think because I especially like if you go back to the original in '87, I've heard of accounts where the movie in theaters they never showed like the Predator ship actually landing and kind of giving away that this thing that's hunting these badass macho commandos is not from planet Earth. So that kind of makes it its whole thing. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, it's cool to see. Like we started off with like the whole like I would say like prologue before we get the title card. It was pretty damn cool. Like it's a whole like crate
That throws you
not
right
mechanic.
in, and it's like it's intense. It's like 5-10 minutes of just pure intense.
It like 10, 12. I honestly like again, like Danny said, spoiler alert, like I was so like engrossed in the movie that I wasn't paying attention to how long it was going. I just thought, man, we're just going right into it. And then, we have stuff happens where Deck ends up getting to the planet Genna and after his whole ordeal of just trying to like land, you could tell the species that we finally officially get to name Yautja, as we've seen a lot of times in like comics and games, but the actual race is named. Thankfully, it's pretty cool. Now it's in there. It's the canon for all the nerds out there, or me. Kidding. The cool thing about this is that we see more of the cultural dynamics and kind of what makes this like uh warrior like race really tick. Like this is kind of like where our main character technically shouldn't be around because he's like a weakling, fledgling, like kind of like almost like, hey, you're like, the offshoot, you know, like kid that couldn't physically take up to the rest of them. So, you know, should you even be alive at this point? Like this is not doing him any favors according to his culture, but the perseverance is still there and he through circumstances wants to go prove to his clan that he's got what it takes and it's cool because like immediately you see that this guy has a chip on his shoulder. He technically has a chipped tooth, but he's got a chip on his shoulder. And we kind of like Danny said, we get thrown right into a lot of the action. Like there's a whole like trial slash like competition he has with his brother. There's all this drama that happens ahead of time, and then he goes off to the planet, and his crash landing is pretty spectacular. And then that's where we get the whole like vista of this harsh jungle planet, and then bam, Badlands. So that was a cool like it caught me off guard, but it was pretty cool. I don't know what else talked. I personally talked a lot, but um kind of like seeing more of just like the predator kind of culture and stuff. I know, Anthony has been exposed to a lot of this stuff as much as I have. So, what did you think about the way the movie started and how it set up our whole like heroes or protagonists journey and quest to do what he has to do?
Well, first of all, the very beginning of the movie starts off with the Yautja Codex, with the saying Yautja are prey to none, friend to none, and predator to all. So the movie already starts out with something cool to read, and then we begin with that whole beginning portion with Deck and his brother.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like, also not to cut you off, but correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Killer of Killers also start off with a codex entry?
it did. I don't remember that one. It was a little bit longer. I
Yeah,
just remember this one because it was pretty short, and I was just like, "Oh, nice."
yeah. It's just like, yeah, it set the tone. It's just like, yeah, they're, not like we're nothing. Like, oh, okay, like badass. It's just like, it's pretty cool.
But yeah, the pretty much what is it like the first 10 or 15 minutes
I
was
think I want to say like
the
close to
intro.
15. Yeah, like that
Yeah,
whole
it's like
prologue
that.
area.
So yeah, the intro is really cool, and I feel like it did exactly what it needed to do, where it told you enough backstory between the main character, his brother, and his family, showed you the motivation for the rest of the movie, and all in their own language, by the way. It was subtitled. It was not in English. And yeah, once he lands on the hometown and the title comes up, very old school. It felt like what video games do now when there's like an intro to either like a world or a game where it just shows like the main character looking off into the distance to see like this is what like the rest of the game is, like what I have to deal with. And then boom, the titles come up. Yeah, I agree. It was very cool. Very well done.
Yeah, like I think Dan Trachtenberg's on record saying that he is inspired some of the times by certain games. So you
Yeah,
could
you could
see it.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting to that point, Anthony, where like people, because like people our age are now making movies, and so they're resonating with the same things that we did. Yeah, we're aging ourselves here, but and seeing that like
Oh,
those kind of aesthetics are like hitting the right notes. So it's just like I saw that and I was like, man, I remember at first kind of being surprised by it, but then also like, yeah, that fits. Like that tracks. That makes sense. It's pretty good. Like
but
it's
it's
just
like,
pretty cool.
but so he's like kind of using things from modern games, but also older style movies and like putting it together, which is a pretty cool combination.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it also worked in like the pacing and the structure of the movie too.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the rest of the movie after that beginning 15 minutes is him on this other planet, and even the rest of the movie feels like a video game where it's just a bunch of like little missions that he has to do and new things that he's learning and like upgrades that he's getting. So
Yeah,
it's
it's either
very
it's upgrades, like it's very like Metroid-esque, or
yeah.
what's the what it's there's something it's called, like, I think Zach and Danny haven't played too many Metroid games, but it's like the thing where if you ever play like Metroid sequel games, it's kind of like Samus, she has her armor and then something random happens. It's like, you okay, now you start once again with Jack all. So
Mhm.
you have to work with what you have. And what's cool is you see Deck kind of take that ingenuity and that perseverance, that determination, because out of all like the predators we've met, like this is one that's like like has to really work towards it. Like you can see that there's more of a like that real drive. And those the opening prologue really sets the drive home perfectly of just like, this is what I got to do. Like I'm not gonna stop until I'm dead to get it done. And it culminates in some pretty cool ways to show off that, like, oh, I'm gonna like make my own gear based off the stuff of the planet, um, and kind of show that I am what it's all about. But as Anthony has alluded to, like it's not just the like it's not just Deck in this journey. So he has a couple other people that, or a couple other characters that help him out in this. Um, so it being sort of newer-ish to the franchise, I guess I'll throw this question out to Zach. What did you think about adding other characters like to go alongside uh, a Yautja or like a Predator, which we've always seen in the past are like solitary or like these like stone cold killers and badasses?
I feel like, well, for the movie, they kind of needed to throw in like another character, especially like a humanoid type character, because I don't know how this movie would have been like if it was just purely the Predator or the Yautja himself with doing going on his mission to take out the creature, which I forget what it's called now, but I
The
think
Kalisk.
adding the what?
The Kalisk.
Yeah, that's right, the Kalisk. Yes. Um, so I mean, we kind of needed the human character just to, or human-like character um, to sort of, I don't know, just to add more, just to add more, I guess. Like I can't think of a better way to say it, but
I guess make it
I feel
more
like it
relatable
added.
or grounded.
I guess so.
Yeah, I was gonna help like make Deck more, yeah, like you said, more relatable, but also like, yeah, it kind of like it
Also,
helps you not that's what also like relate, but I think having those other characters help drive home the sort of like character growth that he has, but also like if other characters are interacting and kind of like get having emotional responses to them, then us as an audience will either mirror those or form our own emotional like attachments or emotional responses to what we see. Not just like, oh man, I have to be intimidated and scared of this guy. Like you have to be like intimidated and like see that hey, that deck is capable of really cool stuff of great feats of hunting and physical prowess, but also like oh like you're still just like sort of a stubborn ass kid that has to be able to grow and evolve, just like kind of everything else needs to grow and evolve. And that got I think like to your point, yeah, that point gets driven home with those two extra characters, which in this case are a synthetic humanoid like android that we see from the Alien series, named um,
Thea.
Thea. I was gonna call her by her quote sister's name Tessa, but I was like no, by Thea, and the little creature, little like kind of like I don't want to say monkey creature, but uh, you know, kind of like this little at first I was concerned like oh this thing is a little too cute, I don't know what's going on here, but um Bud as she was called was kind of grew on me, so it was nice, but then also like it helped like I think like as an overarching thing it was great to see that those two characters help you relate to or empathize and uh react to Dex struggles and give it more weight, because then you see how it affects others and how he can grow from the experience. Damn, I'm talking a lot. That's but talking a lot because the movie's good. But I kind of go with that. We kind of alluded to a lot of these things, so I kind of open it up to the panel. What were some of your favorite moments? I don't want to start first. I don't want to take away some fun things from people. So, like I said, listeners and viewers, there may be spoilers up ahead.
One well, in regards to like deck with like the group and how you were saying like that dynamic, I thought it was very clever the way that they made the kind of just be able to understand him, but then just switch to English for us and say that like line of like, oh, anyone else in their language can hear in their native tongue.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, like so she's speaking like the way she's speaking to Deck in what would be like Yautja, but since we're observers, we're hearing English. So that was fun.
plot convenience.
Yeah, plot
Look,
convenience.
man,
But I
I'll
guess it
take
just
it.
I guess it just made it
Which
so that
part?
the whole movie is not in subtitles, but
Yeah,
it
Of course.
it worked.
yeah, it definitely worked. It was funny to see also like Thea like just be like her top half of her torso, but still able to like do stuff. Like the whole like it's great to see Deck just realize like, oh, this entire planet is trying to kill me. Like the joke is like the entire planet is basically like Australia on steroids, but more jungle. Like who has a grass field where all the grass is like sharp blades? That's evolution on crack. Like
I felt
that
like
was
a
insane.
Pokemon thing.
Like a Pokemon thing, where just and then but like in what way?
Taking Razor Leaf to a whole new level.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm done.
Very effective.
Sign out.
It's
Very
like, oh,
effective.
this is tall grass. You can't pass through this. Go around.
Pretty much. You know what? That actually makes sense. Yeah, it's the Castlevania Metroid
Use
effect of you
use
need this
cut.
one item. Yeah.
Use cut to cut the tree.
God, I
Oh,
think
man.
the
Well,
Pokemon
that's what it
comparison is
was.
killing me now.
Yeah, so in the first scene with that grass, they call him Bud, right?
Yeah.
The small little monkey looking thing. Yeah,
Yep.
at that point it turns into like a armadillo and just like rolls through the grass because it has hard outer skin. And then Deck is like, "Oh, that sucks," and so he just like essentially starts jumping and climbing the trees and using his sword to like stab each trunk to just like travel around the spikes.
Yeah, I think
What was it that they were chasing? They were chasing some huge, I don't
bone
know,
bison.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
because he was trying to hunt for food.
Right. And
Yeah,
that
he's
thing
just like,
had
I'm
also
hungry.
a crazy outer shell, which was just like running through the spiky grass.
Yeah, it was even opening its like I think part of its like horns and stuff just to kind of wade through the sharp grass. I was gonna say tall grass, but the sharp grass. The character, sorry, the like fauna design, if you want to get real technical, but like the alien design was pretty unique. I thought it was really cool. Like when they were walking through like the stream and you had all those little eels shooting like little bits of acid or something. Like those were cool, but also, freaky. Um, and then that's basically like again like a video game where Deck has Thea to basically like tell you that here's the intel, like here's what you got to know about this. And like, they because like her expedition was basically all synthetics, which by the way that's a smart way to make it so that like the security synthetics are just one actor. And then you had Thea and Tessa be one actress. So that helps you reduce what you need to pay for in a budget.
It also helps you make it PG-13
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
the movie is violent. It's just that everything that's getting cut up is either a synthetic or some alien creature. So there's no red guts or blood going anywhere. So you
It was
can do
either like
anything you
white
want. You
or
can do any
green
Yeah, you
or
could do anything you want if you just make it all sorts of different colors.
Yeah, and I will say like some of my favorite moments involved the really cool fight choreography that they put in this movie. And also you got to remember that the for the most part like you have to account for there being just like one guy or so like maybe you have stunt guys have maybe I don't know if they have something like like one of those green masks so they can put the same person there or not, but the big shout out goes to Demetrius Schuster Kolomatangi, who plays Deck. So he has like makeup and he has stuff going on. So whether him or his stunt doubles are doing like a lot of the fight choreography, it still looked really good. Like it looked pretty damn good. I don't know, I might be biased on that, but it looked pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, it
Especially
looked good. There were moments where it looked like obvious CG double when it kind of looked like a um it looked like a video game like the quick time events when he was doing like the final hit or something and he would crawl up the arm of one of the creatures and do like a slash in the back. So it totally reminded me of God of War and other games. But
Shadow of the
um
Colossus.
oh yeah, for sure. And then
Yeah,
hearing the director say that that was one of his big influences, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like I could see that they did it like at least 4 or 5 times with different
exactly.
creatures where he used his intelligence to kind of like find his way to get on the creature and then like run up it and try to like hit it from the back or from the top. And I'm like, yep, that's the whole game of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. The bone bison kill, that was sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like okay, saw his plasma sword, and like I like how Thea's like, oh, you have a plasma sword? Like, how's that like work? Like, she's just like super curious because of like, hey, you guys are just like legends, or we know that you like visit planets and hunt stuff, but like to see your gear is pretty great. And so he just like chucks the sword, and it opens up and then cuts through that bone bison. That was really legit.
it had a lot of cool like slow motion kill shots
I,
throughout
I
like the whole movie.
do we say fellow panelists like tasteful slow mo or over the top too much slow mo a la
I think
Rebel Moon.
No,
no, I think
no,
all of
no.
them were I think all of them were good. The only one that I was kind of like or whatever with was the slow motion shot of him just holding his hand up and like the Power Rangers like explosion in the background. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that one.
Is that near the end of
yes,
the
yeah.
movie?
No,
No, it was
that's
like in
towards
the
the middle.
middle.
He's trying to draw out the Kalisk, so that's why he did that. He's like, "Look at
Right.
me,
Yeah,
find
it
me,
was.
Kalisk," and that way, yeah, he
Yeah, that
blew it
was
up to try to
very
get it.
like cool
Cheap.
character walking away from the
Yeah, the
explosion.
explosion.
Um,
uh,
the one I didn't like was at the very beginning when the ship flies off with him while he's like while the brother like makes the ship fly away to the planet, and then it's like slow motion of him getting like jerked back because of the ship flying super fast. I was like, I
Oh,
don't know if
that
that
makes
needed to be
sense.
in slow
Yeah, I
motion.
could see
It
that.
probably would have
Yeah,
been more of an impact if it was like a really hard hit and then he gets knocked out from like the hard hit on the ship or something like that.
yeah. Or like you see what he's seeing again, because of spoilers, I don't want to go too into it, but like to see what he saw, like the moment it sent him back, like you could see some of that, like or like alludes to the thing that's happening. You're like, oh, like that's like that might have been maybe make more sense from a slow mo point, but that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. What else?
But yeah,
Anything?
every other
Yeah.
moment looked cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
they
that's
worked.
what he wanted to do in this movie. Just like, what can I do to make this moment and these characters just look cool? And it happens like 10 times at least in this movie.
Yeah, and it's not just Deck too. Like Thea has her moments, Lil Bud has moments. Special shout out to again, no spoilers, but his makeshift plasma cannon, the eel. That guy was a real one. Like he would all like because he trained him or like fed him. He's like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with you, and so like it would like disconnect in a way. Like, oh, I'm gonna like get off get off his shoulder, but then he'd crawl back up on his shoulder. He knew to shoot the explosives to blow up a whole bunch of the synthetics.
Somehow.
Um, somehow, hey, look, that guy was a real one. That guy took a plasma cannon shot for him anyway. So that's
It
enough.
looked cool and like everything it did look cool. It just was like, but how is it like his pet and knows exactly what he wants to
Because
do?
he fed it, man. Did you see him feed it? You attract more bees we attract bees with honey
Then
instead
he
of
should have
flies.
got the whole family because he fed they had enough of those whatever berries to feed a whole bunch of them. He could have had like 10 of those things on his shoulder.
He could have,
That would
but
have been
then
amazing.
that would have been amazing. But yeah,
I did like how it was like on his shoulder, acting like the replacement for the gun, the
yeah,
normal Predator
because
gun.
he lost the gun and
Yeah,
he lost all
everything
his
like
gear, which was cool too. Like Tessa went through like, oh, let me find this ship, and she found all the gear, and I'm wondering if by then. Nah, never mind. I'm gonna go too far into stuff. But like that's cool that she found some of his gear and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use the plasma cannon. I'm gonna use those cool like freeze grenades and use them for my needs." So like other people using, you get that a lot. I think in the Predator in other Predator movies where uh the humans will usually use their weapons against them or like find another ingenious way or like their own ingenuity to use what they have to try to overcome whatever but in that case it's the predator that's hunting them, but it's cool to see like Tessa try some of that. But yeah, the overall fight choreography was also really good, even the whole opening sequence with Deck and his brother. I don't know if it was just me or the angle I was sitting in. It was because it's in a cave, so it was kind of dark. Did you
yeah,
guys
it
find it
was.
hard to follow a little
It
bit?
was a little bit.
Okay. I want to watch
Yeah,
it
and
again.
and
See.
obviously I feel like I couldn't tell who was who for the most part.
Yeah. But I think also his brother had like the invisibility, has the camouflage cloak on, so like it kind of
I mean,
like
for those shots,
hurts
yeah,
for
like
him. Yeah, for those shots. But you could tell because
or
he had his cool dreads.
when he's losing, when Drek is losing, so or Deck.
Oh, yeah, when
Yeah,
Deck is losing.
so
Um,
Yeah,
we gotta
they explain at the beginning that he's kind of like the runt
training.
of the
Oh,
family. Like he's not like a true warrior like the others in his family. And so like throughout the movie you see that like okay, he may not be the biggest or strongest, but he clearly has like probably like a higher level of intelligence because of like him being able to like survive on this planet throughout the movie and using what he was given to be able to survive.
Yeah, even his surviving, just him growing
And
up. Like, do you remember the when he got captured and he was telling Thea to like, hey, get this guy to open the thing, and it was just like an actual like a mini explosive. He's like, oh, it's a Yautja children's it's just like it's a
children's
children's
toy.
toy. Yeah, what is it? Oh, it's a children's toy. He opens it and like it just pops, it explodes, and the security like since head pops open, you see the white goo, and then Thea's like, "What the hell kind of toy is that?" He's like, "A Yautja children's toy." I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and like you see bits of humor coming from a predator, but like enough to where like it's endearing, but it's not cheesy. Like he had made it, he had said something like to Thea, and it's just she's like, "Wait, did you just make a joke?" And he's like, "I'm not gonna respond to that." Like enough to just like,
Oh, because he said
yeah,
because she was like, "Oh, I need to go find my sister," and he goes, "Yeah, and your legs."
yeah, and your legs. And she's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, he made it funny." Speaking of Thea's legs, the the sequence of her legs, they're just like I'm walking, like they just follow the legs back, and everybody's like, "The hell is this?" And she's just using her legs to like fight. And it's like two parts of your half like fighting off. Like that was fun. Like that was
That was cool
really
to
like
see. Yeah.
ingenious. Yeah, I remember there's also a sequence in that whole like we're gonna go and rescue and break out the Kalisk because of it turns out Bud and the Kalisk are let's say genetically related to a point, but the he rolls up with all his cool like makeshift predator gear and
Oh, that was a cool
um
sequence. I liked seeing him grab everything he learned and then finally get like that whole look at the end.
yeah, it looked pretty legit for him. But the God, what was the point where like I think I might have lost my train of thought here, but I think he
You were mentioning how they were going
yeah
to free the
yeah how to free the Kalisk, right? Yeah, and it's just like, oh, like I can't hunt
Mhm.
it, but
And they all walk up.
they all walk out. I think I've lost it. That's hilarious, but
No.
um, it was yeah, but like it was one of like the main like it's like think oh yeah, so when he's fighting all the other synthetics and we get some of like those gnarly kills, like some dudes get like ripped in half, some of the gauntlets go through the head, like Anthony said, they like because of that little stipulation, he found the cheat code and they got away with a lot. Like he got away with quite a lot, which I'm all for it. Like I've had people ask me like, "Oh, but it's PG-13, is it good or not?" And it's like, like is it really like toned down that much? Like no. Like this is pretty out of hand. Like out of all the different like Predator movies, like we've had some pretty gnarly kills. But the they go through to try to capture or sorry, pick up Thea, and you see like all the different specimens from the planet that they've kept. They kept that one like the vines that basically try to pull you in and like kill you. I remember him sitting next to Anthony and he's like, "Why would they tape that?" I'm like, "It's Wayland Yutani. They're gonna take everything. Like they're all about that biomedical stuff." But then like you saw that like the fight sequence got to that cage and the glass was like getting bashed in by someone's head, and you immediately knew, oh, that's gonna get somebody. Like it's like it's coming, but it didn't ruin the fact that when it actually came through, it still was pretty cool.
Yeah, and
What else? Yeah,
I
go ahead.
like the so at first when they first introduced Thea, I'd say that first scene came off a little annoying to me. And then pretty much after that, then it started to get a little better because it was like, okay, like I get it. She's like more humanoid and semi comic relief. But I felt like it wasn't by the time, as it was getting more and more into the movie, it started to calm down a little bit and it wasn't like joke, 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 joke like every minute. It was just like, okay, it's because then they did like a little mini montage after he ends up making the, makeshift backpack to hold her on his back. then it was like a little montage of them going through the different areas of the planet, and her like teaching him like, hey, watch out for these things. This is what you have to do. Don't touch those things. You're gonna die. Like, um. So after that, I felt like it was more of like normal conversations and just trying to like understand him more. And so yeah, by the end of the movie, you end up, at least for me, I ended up liking her more as just like kind of, he called her tool throughout the movie, but as like a partner that he gained and needed like to be able to survive in the whole planet.
Yeah, that was cool. And again, part of that was kind of like growth too, of just like, yeah, predators are, normally they're part of clans and stuff, but they hunt solitarily or like, but it's like, hey, you don't have to like, it's more like, there's always those themes of like found family or chosen family kind of thing. And it was good to see that like Thea and Tessa, like they got emotions programmed it to like, just to be able to use them to like, either get things done or like the term they use like so we can exploit the emotional reactions we get. That's the reason why we have emotions. But you saw that Theo was like, no, I think growing beyond that. So it was even cool to see that even the synthetics can, and we see some of that in the Alien movies in general. But like you see that she's able to kind of understand and grow beyond it too. The like I think Tessa's like rebuild or like revive or everything, that was really cool too. To also see like the eye never really got fixed, so that also helped us figure out who's who. Like obviously one is missing the
One.
lower half,
Right.
right? But still, like it's cool to see more of another like type of difference because like oh like she's for sure like trying to accomplish the Wayland Yutani goals because the eye's still there. Um, I was actually kind of sad when, again, spoiler alert, when after like Tessa got eaten by the Kalis, that she still used the cryo grenade from the inside, and it ended up killing the Kalis. Like you saw Bud's reaction of like, oh no, like I actually felt something, like I felt bad, like that actually hit like emotionally. Maybe I'm just a sap. I mean, I know I'm a sap, but I don't know like if anyone else felt the same thing or at least some type of emotional reaction. What do you guys think?
I did not, but not because like I'm a heartless shell, but because
Sure, I'm kidding. Good.
I felt like I felt like that was going to happen probably. I figured it was going to go one of two ways. One, they don't kill the callus, and two, they would. And then in this case, it was the second one. Uh, but I thought that because I didn't know if when she was eaten, if she was gonna escape or not. That was the part I didn't know would happen. Uh, I mean, that was just one thing to kind of prolong the character's screen time, I guess. But I wasn't expecting for it to happen the way that it did.
Exactly. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because when you watch enough movies, you think like, okay, like something's gonna happen. It can't end that anticlimactically. Like this has a way to kind of see, okay, like where this is coming up. So that's a smart assessment. But maybe you're secretly heartless. No, I'm kidding. Anything else from you, Zach, that stood out that you thought was cool or that you think was effective from the movie?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I thought the fight when they first come across the callus was pretty cool. Um, and like a little like a little like blink it and you miss it, or not blink and you miss it, but one of those things that if you weren't um I don't know the word, but like if you didn't give it enough attention, earlier when the baby Callisk uh spits on deck,
Oh, that was cool.
kind of like
Yeah.
imprinting on it in a way.
Yeah.
Uh, you kind of see the reaction of the bigger Callisk, where towards the end of that initial fight, you you hear it or you see it sniff Deck and then kind of like hesitate and then gets
Yeah.
captured and all that stuff. Which was like a nice like one of those attention to detail things that if you're not looking out for it, or if you're not paying attention and hearing, I mean they kind of pointed out when Thea was saying, like, oh, that's a way to say that you're part of their clan or whatever it was that she said.
Yeah.
Like a brief, like little 3-4 second explanation, and then that came full circle in that scene, and then of course like the very end, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
No, like,
the
if you
fight there
want
in the
to.
middle was pretty cool though.
Yeah, the fight in the middle, and then like the reverse too when Deck did it to Bud. I thought that was really cool as well.
Oh, the
It's kind of
spit,
like
yeah.
yeah, when he's fighting, like, okay, like it's you're not just this annoying little random thing that is mimicking everything I did at the fire sequence, or like when uh I don't know how Bud got the little like raincoat also, but he's just kind of walking too. I'm just like, I could feel the whole theater could be just like laugh, but also like, oh my god, really? Like to have Thea's reaction, just like, I cannot believe you're doing this, but this is still like, it's funny, but oh no, like the jig is up. So that was cool. It's like, I need his eyes, don't use his eyes, but that whole those bits, like I thought they were gonna be corny, but they ended up being like effective. Like it was just enough comedic touches to not be this like unserious situation where like, okay, like I'm completely thrown out of the movie. So but I think the final thing too, I thought, like, I'll let Zach talk about it, I thought was also really cool. If you want to, Zach, you can take away what you thought of like the final sequence. Again, spoilers. It's like the most spoiler warning I've given in all of our episodes, but hey, we learn, right? But if you want to, take it away.
All right, so I think the way it goes was, um, so Deck, Thea, and Bud, right? That was its name.
Yes.
Make their way back to his planet so he can confront his father, and then they have like a they start fighting each other. The father uses the cloak to make himself invisible to try to get the upper hand in the fight, um, and then he uses the ship to like blow dust. I think is what it was, right? Like he used the ship,
Yeah,
blows
he
the
used the
dust so
ship's
he can see.
thrusters to help see where the camouflage was. Yeah, that was legit. The moment that happened, I was like, yeah, this dude's smart.
Because that was the thing that I was thinking about earlier, in that initial fight, with him and his brother, where it's like, well, the smart thing to do would be to throw dirt or something, so that you can see,
Like
uh,
he picked that up from
like
his
moving through it.
brother's fight.
Yeah, he saw it from the fight earlier.
And then
Yeah,
that gave him the advantage. That gave Deck the advantage, to then take out his dad, or uh what's the word, because he doesn't do anything initially. He just kind of like gets him to almost yield ish,
yeah,
but
he
then
uses the same trap that was used in the beginning of the movie. He brought it back and used it on his dad.
is that the I can't remember
Yeah, it
now.
was like
It's
that
like
weird
Yeah,
like
it
red
was
little
triangle
details that
thing.
the
like
Yeah, or he
bug
just
you
kind of
for me.
like, oh no.
The
Yeah,
Star Lord what is it? Electrical field or magnetic
Oh
Hydra.
field?
yeah, that
Yeah,
thing. Yes,
That
yes,
thing.
yes.
yeah, as if, but it was red. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something else. There was like another. I don't know if it was a movie or a game or something that also has something similar that I was going to compare it to just now, but I can't remember.
Well, I
But yeah,
might be
so
able to
he
help
he
you.
does that, huh?
I might be able to help you because I know people have been trying to say like, oh, this movie they kind of did like the whole Chewie and C3PO thing with her being on his back and all that. and I saw this more going back to video games as Ratchet and Clank
Hell
because
yeah.
it's Ratchet and Clank, and then he has all these gadgets and all these weapons, and so I felt like this is just like more bomb or um any like what's the bomb, like the bomb glove or anything of the a rift inducer that would suck things up into like a portal. Like I just felt like every time the deck was bringing out one of his armors or gadgets, I was like, oh, nice, because it was just like very inventive, cool looking items or weapons that you would get in a video game. And
Exactly. Like
so very
even
Ratchet and Clank.
the acid eel that's on his shoulder, like that's like again like that's something that's just like, oh, this is like an add-on, or like I'm able to like pick this up now. It's a usable item. Like it's like, or the I forgot if it was like the
The
callous
cool the,
tooths
the cool spinning blade that he would get from like his like
gauntlet.
forearm armor, yeah, or his gauntlet. It would always like he would press it and it would kind of like float above his arm, and then he would direct it or throw it. That was
Yeah,
I
wasn't
think
that
they even
also in Prey?
I think so, but now it's like you see how he's using it, and yeah, it's that cool. It was that cool and brave that he had to bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
It's yeah.
he had at one point he had like a bow and arrow, but it was like laser shots or something like that. I don't know how that worked, but
Oh yeah, like he had like, oh, I'm gonna use this arrow, I'm gonna pull it, and then I have the sword, and then you know, just all like the extra like weapons. He had the spear. He the spear that later on in the movie that like extends and kind of pulls back in. Um,
so yeah,
the
I don't know
makeshift
if that's what
gauntlets.
I don't know if that's what you were thinking of, Zach, of Ratchet and Clank or another type of shooter game.
Well, definitely not Ratchet and Clank because I've never played a
Oh my
Ratchet and
god,
Clank
you gotta
game.
play them. You gotta play them.
But
Yeah.
I feel like it was something else that I had seen recently, or maybe that I played a while back that kind of gave like a similar, like the tech used to like to restrain uh like your opponents. But I honestly
Spider
can't
Man,
remember.
maybe Spider Man. The
Maybe.
web bomb.
Well, not the web bomb. I was thinking more of like this tech that the tech that uh the the Silver Sable and her her group, like the stuff that
Well,
they
I think
use.
in the first Spider Man game, he had that. It was like a kind of like a web grapple where you would throw it, and then anybody who would like walk in like the line laser sight would get like snatched by a web that would shoot out of it.
Well, I'm thinking more to like something that's like almost exactly what the tech was that was used
Just
for
like a
that
magnetic force field.
yeah, like something similar, like something like very similar with like a couple of little differences, but pretty much almost the same kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
But I can't
that's that
remember what it
whole
was.
like, yeah, it's just utilizing almost all of the different weapons that we've seen throughout the movie, because like it'd be fun little homework for you, Zach and Danny, is watch Predator 2, because like the trophy room from his brother's ship is also like, there's a trophy room like that on the ship in Predator 2. I won't say where and what part of the movie because that's spoilers, but you'll see that like that's a whole thing too. And then what's cool in this movie, we saw more like, oh, that's where a lot of the arsenal that they have is behind that. So you have to kind of go through the things that you've killed in order to access your weapons. Kind of cool little like storytelling characterization detail. But yeah, that whole fight sequence at the end, especially like leading up to it, where he's like coming back and the other clan members like, look at this kid coming back. I'll take care of him, and they proceed to get housed, like 100% housed
That two-person kill with the same
with the combi
same
stick.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like the yeah, that was cool. Like that was done really well. Like it's, to me the movie's almost worth watching again just to watch like the fight choreography and the in like the major sequences and like the cool the action set pieces. And then the extra bonuses are from the character interactions and just the lore and storytelling. Yeah, so thank you, Zach, because that whole sequence is really badass. And then to Danny's point, we're hoping that we can get another movie. Let's see how it turns out because the setup for it's pretty cool. Also, if you've seen Killer of Killers, the setup is pretty out of hand. Uh, to quote Sonny, the implication. No, but the what can be set up pretty well. Like Dan Trachtenberg has put his pieces in place very well, so that if things do get set in motion, then he has a nice toy box to play with. So it remains to be seen. I mean, only 1 week. There's a lot of other movies coming out in November. In terms of action, you're going to be between Badlands and The Running Man. And then in a few weeks' time, we're getting like Wicked for Good, which is going to be this whole another massive tour de force. But we're hoping that the word of mouth spreads. It certainly has in my circles of saying, "Hey, go watch it; it's good," and that kind of goes through there. But any final thoughts, gentlemen, on anything else that stood out to you on the movie?
Anyone mentioned the score? Because I noticed at
No,
some
not yet.
points it got really, really good at those intense fight moments.
No, we didn't mention the score at all. Yeah, you guys could take it away because I think Ben Wallfish, who's done quite a few movies I've seen, but he did Killer of Killers as well. So if I don't know since I know Danny and Anthony watched Killer of Killers after watching Badlands, like I don't know if you got some of the vibes or like at least some of the same like kind of like big drum portions, but it was I like anything else you want to expand upon that, like if it was good or um like some like you said those big action points were really like hitting home.
Yeah, like at least in all the fight sequences, it just got louder, but it definitely I felt like it hooked you in. Um, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think it went well with the movie. Maybe I don't remember too much like the slower moments. But I do remember specifically like those high intense action moments.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he does a
Previous
good job of just like creating that either like high octane or
And
upping the tension to the action scenes and to what's going on screen. But at least to me, when there wasn't an action scene, then I didn't really notice the score. It was kind of just like the in the background, not too memorable. But since a lot of this movie is like a bunch of action scenes, like close to each other, because it's constant like going through this world and constantly being attacked by something. I guess it works better for this movie. But yeah, I could hear similarities between this and Killer of Killers. Um, but yeah, like nothing amazing, but yeah,
it did
I
its
think
job.
it did its job exactly.
I love
It was good.
it's serviceable.
So he's done he actually did Alien Romulus, uh
That's right.
Twisters.
He did do Romulus
Um
and Twisters.
he did both It
So
movies.
keeping it in the same universe, I see.
Yeah,
He
I
was
Yeah.
think that might be on purpose.
he was the score producer for Craven the Hunter.
Hey, that's
um Also the
the
Flash
Flash.
movie and Shazam.
Flash.
Um so yeah, definitely done a good amount. He did the Mortal Kombat movie.
He did. Yeah. That's pretty cool. He has a pretty solid like resume in terms of like stuff where he started like in 1005 or so. No, I'm not reading IMDb. I'm kidding. But he's got some other stuff coming up too, like if whatever sequel to Romulus he's doing a composer. Uh Mortal Kombat 2, he's the composer for that also. Um he did the Until Dawn movie, which
Oh,
again,
nice.
based off a
Yeah,
video
I
game.
just recently saw that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go. I have to give that a watch, but spooky season's over, or
I
is
like
it?
the game, but
Yeah,
I
I like
don't
the
think
game.
the movie is
I wanna
like the
play the
game.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, he also did 2049, Blade Runner.
Nice.
Yeah,
he
so
did it, or he was like part of the crew that.
part of it because he said music
Okay.
by. So obviously, like it was him and Hans Zimmer basically.
Right,
Like
right.
there's like 3 or 4 people I think involved in it.
So he
It's
might
because I
be
think
part of
around that
the
time Hans Zimmer was like doing other stuff or
he
like
might be part
had
of the
split
Zimmer
up.
school.
The Zimmer school. Yeah, he might
Yeah.
actually
I
be.
would
I mean,
I would want to see them do like another another Predator game now.
No. What I want to see
they could
is
just do this movie as a game. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie
yeah,
was a video game.
Like this style.
yeah. This movie definitely was a
This was
video
like
game.
it could be a third person like Tomb Raider esque or
And that's it.
Uncharted
That's
or
another
Uncharted,
one. The
and
new
it's
Tomb Raider trilogy. That was that this like the jungle openings. Like
yeah,
yes,
but
where it
it's
says
but with this,
That's perfectly
it's
it.
just with this character or with these characters and
And
that
different
could get
creatures and
or like
species.
Holy
Horizon,
crap!
like a Horizon type game.
Damn, you got the good job, Anthony. That's it. That was it. Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's the game that Zach was thinking of.
just either Horizon or Tomb Raider. Which the I didn't play 2 and 3 of like the new trilogy, but the first one was really good, and that's I got
Two
that
was very
vibe.
good.
Have you played the second one? Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it was better than the first one.
Yeah. I think lastly, as you can see, the Predator Badlands was definitely had a lot of video game influences, but um, it's cool. Apparently, like Bud's design was partly influenced by I don't know if anyone else played Warcraft, but Murlocs. I don't know if you guys know what that is. If you
No.
don't, I have outed myself as the biggest geek, but it doesn't matter.
Is
Yeah,
it
they're like these like
World of
amphibious
Warcraft or
World of
was it in
Warcraft.
Warcraft
Yeah,
3?
both. They're in both,
Okay.
but mostly now famous in World of Warcraft.
Okay. Because I played more Warcraft 2 and
Warcraft
3
3.
than WoW.
Yeah, these kids don't know anything. Warcraft 3. Yeah, that's too good. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like a good call on the score. Like the music score. But yeah, overall,
I
I
had
think
I had one other so as you guys were talking about the end when um Tessa is inside the Kalaskin and does like the freeze explosion or whatever. It looked cool, but part of me was like, but is it dead? Like what if the ice just like unfreezes? Won't it just come back together? And so that part
yeah,
was a
that's a
little
fair point.
that part to me
Yeah,
was a little like, because okay, I know throughout the movie when they showed Tessa like gathering I guess rummaging through the different weapons that she found from the Yautja, and then she finds I guess these ice grenades or whatever they were, ice bombs. I thought, and then during the first fight when they captured it because they were able to freeze it. So I thought what they were gonna do was just freeze it and just like keep it frozen forever, because that's the only way you stop it is to keep it frozen. But so to me, when you ice bomb it and it explodes with a bunch of chunks of ice, that's why when you're asking Zach, you're like, "Oh, I was a little sad," and Zach was like, "Oh, not really." To me, I was like, "Yeah, I was more confused." I was like, "Yeah, it looked cool," but then I was like, "Isn't it just gonna wake back up? Like, isn't it gonna put itself back together?" And then it didn't, and then they just continued with like the next like final boss or whatever, or like the final scene. So it was a little, just that part was a little odd, but I was like, whatever, just keep it going.
yeah.
They just want to get to the
That
next
final fight
part.
sequence.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
next part. So it's like, okay, ice is like its only weakness, but I feel like it's only its weakness if it stays in ice and can't do anything about it. But
There
yeah.
wasn't
That's okay.
like a
Sorry.
mid credit scenes we missed, right? Where they
Absolutely
revealed
not.
that.
No, the
where
only
the
thing
end
reveal was
the
just
end of the
like
movie is like the hand popping up like it's Super Shredder. Like
ah. No. The end of the movie, that reveal of just like, oh, it's everybody's scared of their mom, and they're just like, oh no, which also shows you that deep down, the predator like society is matriarchal in the sense that like like the females are the heads of a lot of this stuff. Like they call the shots for the most part, and the males go out and do the hunting and stuff. So that's fun, but also like, damn guys, like what's going to happen? What is going to happen? Well,
The
until
director
then
said
though,
the
yeah.
director said that this was the most the movie like most in the future, right? Out of all the Predator movies.
I believe so. Yeah, because of how far like the synthetics get in terms of like sophistication, but
So
also
that's probably
like
how then they have like more information and like know about their
yeah,
language.
correct.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to get really into it, like you want to dive deep into it. But until
Okay.
then, you do have one, two, three. Okay, do we count the Predator? I guess we have to, but that's one, two, three, four, five, six. Now we have seven Predator movies. I'm not counting the AVPs,
You
right?
should.
We have. I don't want to count Requiem.
I know.
First one's cool, and it
First
was
one's
also
okay,
PG-13.
and the second one to me is awful.
It is some kind of awful. Like I can't like watching it. I was just so disappointed. But we're not gonna get to that. We're not gonna ruin a good time that we had with Badlands and talk about AVP Requiem. So if you're gonna talk AVP into it, that's 9 movies because we're counting one, two, Predators, which Predators is really freaking cool. You should watch it. It has Adrian Brody in it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Uh,
It
and
has
Topher Grace.
and
And
Machete
yeah, and Lawrence Fishburne. And 3 Predators. So
and
pretty cool.
Walton Goggins, I think, is in it too.
Also Walton
Yeah.
Goggins. So
What year was that
1, 2,
one?
3, 2012
Oh,
or 11 or 13.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
underrated. Not many people talk about it, but I liked it when it came out.
I think we saw it in theaters. I was like, damn, this is cool. Like 2010, guys. 2010. That's nuts. So that is 1, 2, 3. The Predator is 4. Prey is 5. Killer of Killers is 6. This one is 7. Both AVPs 9. Wild.
Yeah. Very surprised it's still going.
Yeah.
But now
Uh,
it's going in a pretty cool and interesting direction.
That's right. Yeah, we have layers upon this stuff. So, if you like, so my back to my main point of if you want to see more of this stuff and kind of get engrossed with it a bit more, and if somehow Predator Badlands is your first Predator movie, um, I'm almost positive all of the Predators might be like on like a Hulu/Disney Plus because they were owned by 20th Century Fox, and if you want to get real geek nerdy with it, they had those really cool like PC games of Alien versus Predator. But this is a
There was a
shout out.
cool arcade game of Alien
Thank you,
vs
Anthony.
Predator.
Thank you.
So cool.
It was by Capcom. It was like a beat 'em up where you go from left to right. You could play as either two like humanoids people, like two like cyborgs humans, or two predators. And it was like the coolest freaking game. Like the animations were cool. You killed a whole bunch of aliens. The game was so freaking badass. Anyway, maybe that's what's next in the movies. But everybody's also been teasing Dan Trachtenberg and Fede Alvarez. Maybe they like collaborate and make an AVP movie. We could only hope, right? But
Maybe.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
both franchises are back up and doing very well. So
Or
yeah.
you never know.
does he collab with Noah Hawley and they like introduce them into the next Alien Earth season?
Yeah, which got
Which that
just
got
recently
renewed.
got greenlit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then I don't know
until
if you
then,
mentioned
uh-huh.
just before we ended up that Prey, they did like a double feature. They did Prey and Badlands for a couple showings,
I'm
I
mad.
which
wish
That
we
would have been
I wish we would
missed.
have seen
that
it.
would have been
Man.
so
I don't even know
cool,
if they
man.
did that here.
Yeah, because I would have liked to have seen Prey in theaters. That
Yeah, it would have
was
been cool.
Oh,
that was a good
agreed.
movie.
That would have been so good. I know, like, I know people who like has seen the OG Predator movies and they saw Prey. They're like, "Hey, this is awesome! Like, this is really cool." So Dan Trachtenberg, I think, is figuring it out while still doing some unique and cool things, as we can see from Badlands. So, we've given you some other recommendations within that kind of scope of stuff. But until next time, as a little hint for what we'll be talking about, put on your running shoes. That's all I gotta say. But until then,
Oh,
keep the
boy.
popcorn popping. Yeah, put on your running shoes. So get your popcorn ready. And thanks so much for tuning in. We will catch you all next time.
Yaocha.
Later.
Later.